Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander audience members should be aware that this performance contains the names and audio of people who have since passed away.
We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. It is a privilege to perform on Gadigal ancestral land.
While we are not performing on the land of Maralinga, we would also like to acknowledge the Anungu people of the Kakafa Nation.
Their land and people suffered great atrocities, and we will attempt to shed light onto this today.
May it never happen again.
Very few everyday Australians know.
Even though the force of the blast combined was twice that dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
And it happened right here in South Australia, about 800 kilometres northwest of Adelaide.
But once you do know, you just have to do something.
That's why we, 4 journalists, have come together to write a comprehensive expose on exactly what happened at Maralinga. Emily Green, The Age.
Catherine Armstrong, The Sydney Morning Herald.
Maria Neal, ABC Four Corners.
Suzanne Roth, European correspondent for the ABC.
We're gathering as much testimony as we can, but this is hard because it was covered up for so long by the British and Australian governments. There was a pathetic excuse for a Royal Commission in 1985 which found significant evidence of radiation still present at the site.
But they found a loophole.
Of course they did.
They couldn't prove that the nuclear testing had had significant health impacts on the Indigenous owners of the land and the former personnel who worked at the sites.
The last time mainstream press reported on Maralinga was in 1994, when the Australian government paid $13.5 million in compensation to the local Indigenous people.
$13.5 million for generations of health problems, grief and uninhabitable land.
$13.5 million just doesn't cover it. Which is why we're here, 63 years on, gathering this information to release it to the mainstream media.
The Australian public need to know. But this article isn't easy to write. We'll have to consult pretty biased and unreliable sources.
1945! The war is over!
The Allies won!
Huzzah!
Now descends a beautiful era of peace.
To democracy!
To freedom! To the Empire!
The Soviet Union has extended its control over Eastern Europe, annexing Eastern Poland.
Good Lord, they've taken over Bessarabia.
Jiminy crickets, Russia's invaded northern Bukovina. I say, now they've got the Baltic states. Great Scott! 1947. The British Empire has entered a state of great economic crisis. Our beautiful country is weakened.
Whoops-a-daisy.
America, the land of the free, has forsaken England. 1949.
USSR drops it.
Russia has nuclear power. Oh dear.
If America won't help us and Russia has nuclear weapons, we must develop our own missiles.
Ought we to test them first?
Probably.
Just the once?
7 times should do it.
Yes.
But where?
The map! Oh, I say that. England!
Mighty but small. What about Wales?
Much too soggy. How about Scotland?
They've suffered enough.
How about
Australia?
Too far.
Too far.
Too far! But where?
Specifically.
Maralinga.
Maralinguini. South Australia, 30.6 degrees south, 131.57 degrees east.
3,300 square kilometres in area.
Annual rainfall, 197 millimetres.
And it's bloody hot.
Fair dinkum.
Maralinga. Australia. Clear the nearby areas. Ensure there are no people located within the range of the blast.
Do we know if anybody does live in Maralinga?
Not enough to worry about. On M3, 2.
Prime Minister Robert Menzies has issued a statement assuring all South Australians that any disruptive noises heard are simply military drills and not a cause for alarm.
This station is Piccadilly Circus.
I'm on my monthly trip to London. I haven't made much progress on the Maralinga story, but the team and I are determined to uncover something. We just have to keep at it. Oh, this is it. Morning, me again. I was hoping to access the archives of Maralinga, please.
There are no archives of that description.
Yes, there are. I saw them last month.
To access any classified documentation, you'll need to fill out the following forms.
Name. You know me. I want to access the archives on the nuclear testing at Maralinga.
There are no records of any such event.
No. You can't just erase history.
Maralinga files, tape 46. I'm finally at the site and it's a lot more lifeless than I expected. The sand really did turn to glass. I didn't think that was true.
Don't touch nothing.
Superintendent Murphy. There'll be no touching the ground, no interviews, and no secrets. Is that understood?
Can I get through there?
Can't you read the sign? Prohibited area. Do not enter.
Buried radioactive materials.
Unexploded ordnance may be found in this area.
So who are you really? What are you not telling us?
I'm Emily Green, a journalist. I spoke to you earlier. I'm writing an article.
About what?
About the 1956 tests.
Say, have you got a radioactivity meter?
No. Do I need one this far out?
Because mine lights up like crazy when I get down to...
So can I get one then?
You're not gonna get one.
When you're approaching ground zero,
Keep the windows wound up real tight.
And remember, the wind is your enemy.
I managed to speak to some survivors and their families.
My father was there. No one told him. He touched everything with his bare hands. And I didn't know it could affect me. I had 6 miscarriages before these 2. If someone had just told him.
all comes in here. Yeah, I was posting, see, and I was just lucky, I suppose, to get out drafted at Maralinga that day. And yeah, this fella came up to me and he said, how'd you like to see a nuclear blast? And of course I said yes. I was only wearing a sandals, shorts, t-shirt. I didn't know about radiation or nothing.
I was a soldier out of Maralinga. Saw half an Indigenous community go blind. But in those days, you did what you were told, and the threat of jail time was enough to keep us quiet, so we didn't say nothing. We should have. We didn't.
The Indigenous community was also gracious in offering their testimony after being neglected for so long. But the smoke, poor things, made our eyes sick, filled our eyes with pus and closed them. Then my mother became sick in her eyes. Many different people were lying down sick out in the bush with no medicine.
These people were brave in coming forward.
Amelia Michaels, a mother.
Darren Edwards, a postman.
Joseph Simpson, a soldier.
Amini Putukapa, a daughter.
But now you know their stories.
And it will only strengthen ours.